And some other drawbacks of beauty and being attractive is that sometimes men prefer a beautiful woman to be like in pain and need of them. Some rescuers wait for the beautiful woman to be in trouble to make their move. So most of the people willing to approach are sociopaths, narcs, also known as narcissistic. I say narcs for short. Narcissistic personality disorder, same thing. And dangerous people with bad intentions, they have, you can sometimes attract these types of people because you're so beautiful. And I'm going to drink some water because I just need to stay hydrated, of course. While I'm doing this, I forgot to drink before I started, but so you attract the attention of tons of people, and all these people have these things in mind, and you're, of course, beauty makes you very popular. Yeah, it's true. But your popularity is among people that don't always have good intentions. This could be sick people who are sitting there watching you and they're like, I want a threesome. I want me and my wife to be fucking you, and you're for sure not gonna have a threesome with someone ever. Like, not every, a lot of times most beautiful women are not into threesomes for sure, and you don't want to ever have one, and you never plan on having one. You don't have to. But a lot of people, when you're beautiful, I find that people want threesomes. White couples, all races of couples, white couples, Latin couples, sometimes black couples, Indian couples. Everybody is wanting a threesome, and your best bet though, sometimes the safest people who actually don't want a threesome are Japanese people. And so if you're kind of paranoid, run to the Japanese people, the Chinese community, you're going to be safe there. Koreans, they'll give you a break, a much needed break, that because you don't normally see Korean couples who are like, yeah, me and my wife are sitting here masturbating thinking about you. You know, you don't see that shit, because that's disgusting and it's awkward, and you don't see that. But with American people, threesomes are too popular. I don't know why they are so infatuated, and like what drugs they're on, what's in their head to make them think that a very beautiful woman would want her first time losing her virginity to be with two idiots. It's a lot easier to have sex with one person on your first time, of course. But I cannot believe how many sickos are out there. And even when I used to be a virgin, there was a sick black couple trying to have sex with me. Oh, we want trying to get me to lose my virginity to two people, and that's beyond stupid. I don't even want to imagine what would have happened, but my little virgin brain shouldn't have been exposed to that. And these were church people in the black church. Sometimes the people who are going to church regulars, not all of them, but sometimes church people, the creepiest, dirtiest church people are are going to church all the time. Those are the craziest people sometimes. Not in every situation, but sometimes, yeah. The craziest people are always at church and they're like, yeah, so I've been raping my daughter for 50 years. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's just funny because it's funny that somebody is that disgusting and somebody is that sick and they're going to church. So it's funny to me, just a little bit, but um they do not ever think you are safe at a church just because it's a church. And sometimes um being in someone's same racial vicinity will make you a target for their sick fantasies. Like an Indian girl sees me and she's like, I'm bisexual. I'm from India. I'm gonna fuck you. You know, no, you know, get a life, get a toy, get a sex toy doll or something. That is not me. And so you gotta figure out that this is totally different. Navigating different worlds is different. And so you might find that in a black church, you are more seen as a prey or something. And so I'm not saying you should never go to church again, but your experiences at a church is different when you're beautiful. You're that Jezebel spirited woman who's sexting my husband and my pastor husband behind my back when you're a virgin and you never had sex in your life. You never seen his cock. You don't want to see it. And and you're being accused of having sex with these men you've never touched, you've never thought about, who are utterly disgusting. And most people, you know, sometimes you might need to play around with church. You might need to go to a white church. If you find that you're in a church where the racial vicinity is too familiar for people, you might need to go to a white church. Take your brown self to a white church, because white people in their white church, they're not going to be all creepy and nasty. Not normally, is what I find. When I go to a white church, everyone is very respectful, very nice, no sexual content is, and black pastors are different. Let's just be honest. But you go to sometimes, or actually a lot of times, black pastors, they'll call you to their prayer room and say, "Hey, come in here, suck my cock for me, suck my dick. Yeah, I'm horny." And you've never even had oral sex before. You're a virgin, and they expose you to this type of sexual content. It can be disturbing for sure, and you just need to leave, and you need to go to a white church, because white pastors are not such sick fucks. And so you might need to even go to an Indian church, because I find that full Indian from India, full Indian congregation members, they're a lot cleaner. They're like white church, similar. Go to or go to an Indian church. Everybody's from India, and your content is a lot cleaner when you go to an Indian church. You don't have to. You might have some flirtatious guys in an Indian church, but that's a single guy. It's not a whole couple coming at you, and you're a virgin and creeping you out and scaring you, making you not want to go to church. So it's a lot easier to handle one person. A lot easier to handle one person that wants sex with you. And sometimes when you're beautiful, some men want so badly to be rescuers. And these rescuers, they prey on women who are in pain and in need of them. They wait for a beautiful woman to be in trouble to make their move. And most of the people willing to approach are sociopaths, dangerous people with bad intentions. They could even be sex traffickers. But they have such low self-esteem that to be secure about the relationship with you, they need the object of their desire, which is you, that beautiful woman, to remain on the floor and dysfunctional in some way in order to believe that they'll stay with them, that you'll stay there. And that's when they employ all kinds of tactics to keep the person that they rescue incapacitated and in need of them. And they love how helpless you are. And they actually will never tell you to fix what's wrong with you, and because they know that if you actually got a job, that they could lose you completely. They love you needing them. They love a beautiful woman needing them. And they won't even insult you not being employed. They will be there to rescue you. But these rescuers, they can have the worst intentions for you. You know? They could be planning on a threesome behind your back. And people have all these different kinds of fantasies. Some men never think of threesomes. And that's the men you want to marry if you're looking for marriage. There's some men, they are infatuated with the threesome idea, and they need a beautiful woman to get to that disgusting fantasy they have. And a lot of times when you're beautiful, they always assume you are a dumb girl. And so they strip you of your credentials. And even though you are very smart, they will never give you credit for anything in your head. And a lot of men call you a racist if you don't date them too. So if you are deciding not to date them, even if you politely decline a man, you can be seen as a bitch for doing that. Even if you were kind because you're so beautiful and they wanted you so bad that you can't decline politely. It just pisses them off so much, And so a lot of men will call you a racist if you don't date them. And this is men of all races. I've heard this too. White men, black men, a little bit of everybody have called me a racist because I didn't want to date them. And it's not your job to date the rainbow and say, hey, I'm feeling like a rainbow. I'm Skittles today. And I'm going to date everybody here. I'm going to date a white one, black one, a purple one, just to make everybody feel good. And I'm going to fuck everybody. No, you don't have to be stupid and slutty. You don't have to, you don't have to date the rainbow just to prove that you're diverse. You don't have to slut yourself around to do any of that. But being pretty is always perceived as flirtation. And so even if you are genuinely never flirting with anyone, you're just being friendly and that's just you, that's a scientific fact that you are seen as flirtatious and then women turn on the cock blocker mode and they go, I want to keep my husband or boyfriend away from her. She's dangerous. And they start cock blocking and they act like you are that Dick Savage, like you are after that sausage in his pants, and that you are to be poisoned because you can't stay away, so, and that's not fair because you might notice that as a beautiful woman, you might not even have friends with the people that you wanted to have friends with. Like that, you'll have girls that show themselves friendly, but they'll come ask you, oh, was so-and-so attracted to you? Was so-and-so attracted to you? Was so-and-so, and they'll ask around and you're like, yeah, he flirted with me. He likes me. He likes the looks of me. Why? And then you'll notice that those two girls that disappeared from your life totally because they're cock blocking bitches and they're insecure and they're like, oh, she's going to be riding my man's dick, so I'm going to stay away from her because she's a man eater. She's a man hunter. So those are stupid hoes that you didn't need to be friends with anyway because their self-esteem is too low. And some girls are just too paranoid about losing their man. Like if she is that stupid and that insecure where she can't leave her husband in a room alone with you, then her relationship sucks anyway. That's her problem. It's not yours. But being pretty is always perceived as flirtation, and it's a problem because sometimes men think you're flirting and you're not interested at all. When you're friendly, you're seen as flirtatious when you weren't thinking of him like that at all. And also, people will talk to you in a different way. They'll tell you about their private sex lives when you never asked. They'll say, "Oh yeah, so earlier today I was going down on my wife." And you're like, "Wow, I wish I was deaf right now." You know, you have to hear an earful from people when you're beautiful a lot of times, and when you're sexy and beautiful at the same time. Now you wish you were deaf for real. And sometimes I have wished hey, God, please, can you make me deaf? Can you? No, just kidding. But you don't want God to make you deaf. But like the stuff that you hear is like too much. You hear about people's private sex lives that you were never wondering about. Not just that, but like, but you'll have like bisexuals coming out of the closet on you. People who need to stay locked in that damn closet. They're like, "Hey, I'm coming out of the closet today. I'm talking to you. I'm out of the closet," and everybody's out of that. Everybody comes out of the closet. People who need to be locked in the closet, forever. People who need to be locked in the closet, and you throw away the key. They're coming out of that damn closet, and these people, LGBTQ, come on, every time I learn LGBTQ, somebody adds another letter on. They're like LGBTQX. Bitch, like, I hate you. You're so stupid. Every time every time I learn it, LGBTQ, somebody goes LGBTQ. Actually, it's LGBTQXYZ. Oh, I'm gonna punch somebody in the face. And um, so for sure, these LGBTQ people, whatever come on, you put the whole alphabet on there. Like, um they are bold now about coming out of the closet. And so when they come out of the closet, they want to come out to a beautiful woman a lot of times, I feel like. And these people, sometimes I've had experiences where Filipino transgenders, what do you call them when they're a man but they're dressed as a woman, their penis in a dress. Okay, they come out of that damn closet and they're like, "Hey, I want to fuck you, you're beautiful." You're like, wow, no, that is disgusting. You're straight. You've only been with men who were born, you've only been with people born male. And you haven't had that many partners either. You like, sometimes when you're beautiful, people assume that your body count is high. And so they're like, "How many partners have you had?" And they go to assume that I don't know why they assume you've had a threesome, but that happens to me sometimes. That happens to beautiful women, I've heard. Not just me, my beautiful friends too. And it's very insulting, you know. Even as a virgin, people want to have threesomes, and it's disgusting. But I saw this one. She was actually, I'm not gonna lie, she was beautiful. She looked like a woman. She's from the Philippines or something. I've seen a lot of different transgenders, but she, or how do you want to be addressed? It's confusing. She's part of the gay community, and how does she want to be addressed? I don't know. But she was born a man and now she's a woman, and she looks like a real woman. She's very pretty or whatever, and she's after the beautiful woman. She's, after me. She's like, "You're beautiful, you're exotic," she told me, or he told me. He or she, whatever, told me, "You're beautiful, you're exotic. I want to experience with you." People come out of that closet, and then you're like, huh, can someone lock the closet? You really want someone to lock the closet when you're beautiful, because people come out of that damn closet left and right. And it's overwhelming. You don't feel like hearing all this. You never even thought about being with a trans person before, ever. And so it's they burden you with their sexual perversions and imaginations. And so also, so not only are you seen as flirtatious, but you're preyed upon by these different people who you would never think of. Even older men who are too old to be with you, old as hell, come out of nowhere, and they're like 80 years old messaging you, or 70, or just disgusting fantasies that they have of a younger woman, and they're inboxing you. But when you are a beautiful person, you attract a lot of attention. You attract a lot of good, but you attract a lot of bad too. And so when you decline it, even politely, you say, "I'm not interested, you're 81," you know, you'll have people that go, "You know what, you have a problem." And that happened to me. Like, there's this 81-year-old white male who reminded me of Jeffrey Epstein. Seriously, he's so similar. I'll conceal his identity because I'm not what's the name of that one lady? Virginia G, the girl. I'm not the girl who wants to be on the CBN, like, "I'm gonna decode this guy. I'm gonna tell you everything about him, what happened." And I don't really want to be that person. But so, because then when you expose someone like that, you're a target now, but so I don't really want to expose him, but he reminds me of Jeffrey Epstein, with his own private island and his own private jets and a beautiful home, and he owns all these different things, companies, and money on top of money. But when I told him, "You're 81," he's like, "You have a problem." And the way he was talking to me, they have they have such fantasies about you, because you're so beautiful. And that's an issue I've had. I'm sure other women have had it too, beautiful people. And when you decline, even politely, you're seen as such a snobby cunt or a bitch, because you politely said you're 81. I'm 20. You shouldn't you shouldn't be seen as such a cunt. Like, the age difference, you're 65 years older than me, you cunt. Like, or whatever. I can't 60, 65, whatever. How many years? Yes, it's 20, 65, yeah. About, yeah, a little bit. Estimate, not spot on. That's about 60 something years older. And he's so the way he was angry with me, the anger that men feel towards you when you decline them is a total different level of anger. So you might even have someone who wants you dead when you decline, because you're so beautiful. Or someone who yells at you, like this white man yelled at me when I politely declined, because he's like, "You have a problem. You should not have a problem with my age." So he thinks in his mind that I should be on his 60 something year difference from me, 60 something years older than me, and he thinks he should be having his old ass on me, and he's too old for this shit. And so people feel this entitlement towards you, and they have these goals in their mind. So you don't even know these people, and they're sitting there watching you on whatever form that you of social media you have, YouTube or whatever, Facebook, Instagram. They're stalking you, and they're like, yeah, 81, but I'm gonna come and find this beautiful Indian girl and make love to her, and she's gonna get pregnant with me. They have these stupid fantasies like that because this old man, he's 81, and he's coming after me, talking about how he wants a baby with me. He wants his old 1920 sperm in my young eggs, you know? That doesn't work for me. That's disgusting. And of course, some beautiful women will do that. But it's rare. It's very rare to see a beautiful woman with a man that's that old and that disgusting. And you know, um, so you are perceived as flirtatious when you are not even flirting, when you're just being polite, and your body issues are brushed off, mocked, or unaddressed. So even if you grew up where you heard zero compliments at all whatsoever and had ground level zero self-esteem, you are so beautiful that everyone thinks you're so arrogant and conceited. And it's stupid, you know, you gain weight and you're beautiful, so that's you. When you gain weight, um it's different for you, because when you gain weight and you're beautiful, there's always people who point it out more than they would a normal looking person. An average looking girl, they would not say, "Did you see her? She gained 30 pounds." No, if you're beautiful, they have to point it out and broadcast it on the news, you know? And your weight gains, your weight loses too, are announced. But usually, sometimes it kind of depends, because sometimes your weight loss is not even announced. If you lose weight, sometimes you're so beautiful that people won't even acknowledge it. Your successes are not praised. No one will say anything. But then when you gain weight, everybody's putting it on the news, and you know, um, it can drive you insane if you're too young for this. Like if you're an impressionable 11-year-old and you're beautiful, you're 12, you have all these women in your ear who are supposed to be more mature than this, but you have everyone saying, "You gained weight, you gained weight," and it can give you an eating disorder. It can make you crazy. You might have like all your aunts in your ear saying, "You gained 40 pounds and you're 12 or something," and they're all you might have too many aunts because they're all in your ear telling you what you shouldn't have done, and it's like having 10 moms at once for some of us, you know. And when you gain weight, not only your family can point it out, but sometimes people you don't know at all. And I think that's one of the scariest parts for me, is how girls you don't even see, like you're out somewhere and you don't even see her you don't know she was even there. You are in your own world, when beautiful women are typically in their own world, minding your own business, and some, some bitter woman. For me, it was a black girl who didn't know it all, didn't know she was even there. I was minding my own business, and she goes, "You gained weight." You'll have people who are so concerned about your weight, or and you didn't. It's not like you gained 100 pounds. You're not on my 600-pound life. You're not on my 600-pound life. You're not 1,000 pounds. But people will act like you're 20-pound weight gain. Hey, you gained weight. It's like you can't do nothing, like they're on you. People are on you more, and it will piss you off, and it will make you really angry. And there was this it can be any race person, but some people, their delivery is more harsh. And so for me, I didn't like the black woman that I didn't know tell me nothing about my weight. I needed her to shut up, like seriously. And she's like, you gained weight. She was very rude about it. It was, do I know you? No, I don't know you. Never seen you at all. But she knew me. That's what I'm saying. That's the issue. When you're beautiful, people think they know you and they don't know you at all. And that will piss you off so much. And they think they know you. They don't know you at all. And they will see you and they're like, hey, you gained weight. And you're like, oh, and I never seen you in my life. And sometimes women compete with you and they don't know you at all. You don't know her. She doesn't know you. And she's all over you. You guys don't know each other at all. And she's all in on you. She needs to know what kind of makeup you're using. She needs to know what kind of man is your type. What kind of man is your type. And she's waiting for that dick. She's waiting to lay up under. If she can get close to you, she's waiting to lay up under that same dick as you when you're beautiful. Because some women, they don't have any self-esteem until they're having sex with their same man as you. And that's when it gets very messy and dangerous. It gets so messy, it gets so nasty, and when you're beautiful, you attract these psycho type of people. Men are obsessed with you. Sometimes, yeah, a lot of times. Either one could be. Sometimes could be a lot of times. But women are obsessed with you too. And when a woman becomes obsessed with you, you're like Single White Female, the movie. If you've never seen it, guys, look at it. It's a good movie. For me, it's a funny movie, but it does remind me of a girl that I know, not a white girl, she's a black girl, who is on me like that movie, competing with me like in that movie. If you watch the movie Single White Female, you'll see what I'm talking about. And I'm going to pull it up because I want to show you. Single White Female. What year was that movie? Hold on, I'm going to see. But people criticize you more when you're beautiful. So if you're beautiful, and you have a missing tooth or something, or your teeth are just discolored, people say, she's so beautiful, but did you see her teeth? Oh, she's so beautiful. But she's missing a tooth, your flaws are pointed out a lot harder and a lot faster, and people are harder on you. And they're like, you're fat, well, when you just gain 20 pounds, people are on you, all over you. And, so hold on, typing in the movie, Single White Female. Not only that, but when you're beautiful, you can I find that you get accused of cosmetic surgery. Even if you can't afford cosmetic surgery, you're broke, You don't got money like that. They'll see you. I've had women ask me, do you have any boob jobs? Have you ever had your breast done? Or are those your natural lips? Or, have you ever had your butt done? You can't even afford all this stuff, and they're on you and they're like, asking you if you ever had it done. No, you didn't. You're born this way, and it can be a problem because people can, be out to get you or put curses on you, and Well, I think a lot of women are probably not putting curses on you, but sometimes I think it's rare, but it can happen. And in the movie Single White Female, 1992 is the year of that movie. So look it up. It's a good movie with the one in New York with Bridget Fonda. And I thought the apartment was nice. Maybe I'm one of the only ones, but I thought their 1992 that apartment was kind of cute. The New York apartment. It was kind of cute. I kind of liked it. I thought it was kind of nice. And so um you can have different issues with people when you're beautiful. For sure, when you're beautiful, people are like, does she have her nose done? Are those her natural lips? And like, people don't really give you a break. And sometimes they just assume because you're beautiful that you love cosmetic surgery. And I don't think that's fair because you may not even be able to afford it at all. And so they think you had your nose done. And when I see beautiful women, I don't think that. I would, like, I know people do think that. People might accuse Priyanka Chopra of having her nose done or something. I've been asked if I had my nose done before. I've heard that. I've been personally asked, have you ever had your nose done? Have you had your boobs done? Have you had your butt done? No, that stuff is expensive, And I wouldn't care to ask anyone if they had that done. So it's like they won't let you be naturally beautiful. They have to accuse you of things like that. They have to say, and sometimes they have to say, is that your hair? And to me, Priyanka actually looks very natural. That looks like her hair. It looks like her nose. I think she looks real. To me, she looks real. She's very beautiful. All of these girls here are very beautiful. But you're criticized on an entirely different level. And you're tired because when you're quiet, that does not mean you're in a bad mood. But when people are strangers and you're quiet, sometimes they take offense to that. They're like, why is she so quiet? And in their mind, they're like, why is she so quiet? She's not speaking, like she must be such a snob. And they can be so offended by you being quiet. I find that. And they can accuse you of different things because you're quiet. And sometimes people, when you're beautiful, they won't let you not talk. And they will talk your ear off. And I hate that. Personally, I cannot stand that. I do like talking, but not to everyone. I don't really talk to strangers. It kind of depends. But a lot of times I don't want to talk to a stranger. And if you are quiet, or if you're thinking about something, you're thinking about your grocery shopping list, people write you off as being snobby or rude because you're beautiful and you're not speaking. It's seen as more rude. And if you were an average looking girl, they would not even be offended by that. But because you're beautiful and you're quiet, it's like, she's quiet, I hate her. And so sometimes you will find that people talk a ton. People talk your ear off when you're pretty. And so you might have to cancel your Lyft ride. You might have to cancel your Uber or Lyft ride. You could, if you see a picture of somebody, because now I don't know if all of those ride apps, I don't use them, but I use them a few times only. I don't know how many times, maybe a little bit. I think I use it about 10 times. 10 times total. But you will find that when you use those apps, sometimes you can see the picture of the person before you get in the car with them. It's a man. You're going to get a male driver. You're pretty. And you put your picture, you upload your picture, he uploads his. And when they come to get you, you are bombarded by a stranger to talk. And sometimes it's too much, like, especially if you're in the same racial vicinity as somebody, they will talk too much. And you're like, can you stop talking? You really wish they could stop talking. They're talking too much. And you can cancel your ride before someone, if you feel like, if sometimes I just have had a bad feeling about someone if I see their picture, and you can hit that button and get your money back. Or sometimes it's not just the bad feeling. Sometimes you forgot you had, oh yeah, I forgot I had the something on schedule, and I don't need this ride. I can get a ride with one of my family members. That's happened too. But when you're beautiful, sometimes I feel like sometimes the things that you do are taken to more offense. Like, let's say you booked a Lyft ride, and you cancel because you forgot. Oh yeah, my brother-in-law is coming over, and I gotta go with him instead. Cancel your Lyft ride, but you might be seen as a jerk to somebody because you canceled the ride because you're beautiful, like, or a racist. Like, sometimes but not all the time. You can just hope that so and so wasn't offended, or call the services and say why. You might have to work a little bit harder. You might have to call the service or text the service and say, oh yeah, I had to cancel my ride because my brother-in-law came by and got me instead. Like, because people, they put you on such a high pedestal. They're talking your ear off when you get in a Lyft ride. People don't understand how it is to be a beautiful woman, but when you get in the car, people will not stop talking to you. They won't shut up. Like, oh my God. And I bet when, like, they do that with me, and I'm sure they do it with other women, but sometimes men, they can't stop talking, and they talk so much, and you're talking to a stranger, and they are expecting you to talk so much too because they want to talk so much. And so when you don't want to talk so much, you're seen as a cunt because you didn't want to talk so much. And that's not really fair to you because you could be a quiet person, or you just don't feel like talking because you're thinking about something else. They kind of won't let you off the hook, I feel like. And so they hold you to this such high standards, and they burden you so much. And I'm sure that if any of these women, this Adriana Lena from Victoria's Secret model, if you are in a car with a man that you don't know, or even if not, I'm glad that I'm not taking rides like that anymore. But no, I think it's safe to do, as long as you use your gut feeling. It's perfectly safe to do. But when you're beautiful and you're in the presence of a stranger, even if it's not a riot setting, if you're having a dinner with a man, he's expecting so much from you, and you're beautiful and a man takes you out to dinner. If you let him pay for you, it kind of depends. You're hoping that this person has good intentions, because sometimes men don't. They don't have pure intentions. If their intentions are not pure with you, they can take you to dinner and pay for you, and then they have that look in their eyes, and they're like, I just paid for you, so now I want something else, and they want you to deliver, if you know what I mean. Like, they want you, of course, to do a lot more than that, and they want to take you home. And that's not fair, because sometimes you can't, sometimes it can be hard to find a good male friend who's just pure and doesn't want to have sex. Like, because even married men want to have sex. Many times when you're beautiful, Men don't even tell you that they were married, or they don't even tell you that they have a wife at all. And so that can be a problem. They won't mention that they had a girlfriend or a wife at all whatsoever. And here you are, and they are making sure that they show that they want to have sex with you, and they expect basically anytime that you accept anything from a man, they are expecting something back. But it can be exhausting for you as a beautiful woman, because everyone expects so much from you, and it's even more so. I think it's even worse when you're in someone's racial vicinity. So, you you might be better off having your mukbang or mukbang, however you say it, by yourself. Eat alone. Go out to eat alone, or eat or order your takeout and take it back home. Eat by yourself. Eat with your family. But be careful when a man is offering you shopping sprees and food and dinner, because usually that means he wants something more. And your selection of men, you have a broad selection of men to choose from, for sure. Yeah, you do. But these are men who also want to, like, not necessarily, men have different motives. Like, I think sometimes when you're a beautiful woman, men, they just want to conquer you. What you should know is that if you're a beautiful woman and you're a virgin, men want to conquer you, meaning that they just want to have sex with you, or they just want to see if I can get her. So they want to get you in bed, or a lot of times you will be bombarded with a lot of men who want to conquer you. And they just want to have sex with you and forget your name and forget your existence. Or sometimes you'll be approached by very dangerous men who want to ruin your self-confidence. Even if it's assumed that because you're beautiful, you have such high self-esteem. Even if you grew up in a family where you did not get compliments at all, you are perceived as this arrogant woman who has such high standards and is so hard to provide for. I've had that perception about me too, where people who didn't know me, they say, "You seem so high maintenance." Like, I hate that. Like, I hate when people say, "You seem so high maintenance," but I've heard that a lot, and I think it's very rude. It's extremely rude, because I didn't grow up with money growing on the trees, and a lot of people didn't grow up like that. Just because you're beautiful does not mean that you are high maintenance, but you can be perceived as high maintenance, for sure. That people think you spend thousands of dollars a day, thousands of dollars that you don't even have. Does she get her butt done, her boobs done, or like, they just won't leave you alone. And a white girl was being polite, actually, to me, and she said, "Did you have your nose done?" She asked me if I had my nose done. No, my nose is. I was born with this nose. Give me a break. Like, people. But she wasn't offensive. Actually, I really wasn't offended at all by her, because she was very polite in the way. She was just wondering, and I don't blame her, because sometimes I just wonder too about other women, and I will ask if I do. But so she was a very curious white blonde girl. She's like, "Hey, excuse me, did you have your nose done?" I'm like, "No, I was born with this nose. My mom's nose is on the small side too, so um no, this is my natural body, you know." You will find that you have to defend yourself a lot in different situations. "No, I'm not sleeping with your man. You're cock blocking." "No, this is my nose." "No, these are my boobs." "These are my buns. This is my butt." You know, like you're constantly defending yourself. You need a lawyer defense team because you are constantly defending yourself left and right, and it's crazy because people constantly are on you. They're cock blocking for sure, you know. And if you're very beautiful, you'll find that you have few friends that are your friends. You have to really keep an eye on your friends when you're beautiful, because um when you're pretty, you have girls who are obsessed with you and they're waiting for that dick. They're waiting for you to go to Hawaii. They're like, "Oh, I can't wait for her to go on vacation so I can fuck her husband or boyfriend." They're waiting for the moment to take what's yours so that they can feel just as beautiful. "Oh, now that I had that dick, I finally feel as beautiful as Adriana Lima." And this bitch is not as beautiful as you are. No, she's not even close to being as pretty as you are. And she's on that dick. And she may not even be attracted to your husband or boyfriend, which is the sickest part. A lot of times she's not even attracted to him. She just needs the same man as you so she can feel the same as you. So she's not even a little bit attracted to him. She just needs that dick from your same man so she can go in her mind, "Yeah, I'm Adriana Lima." When this bitch is not even close, when she's disgusting. You know, she's nowhere near your level of beauty. And she will drain you. She's a leech on you. And you have to watch your friends groups because you have girls who have motives like that, who are sick in the head like that, and they're on you like that. And that type of girl, she will be just like that movie Single White Female, and she'll be copying your, "Oh, where'd you get your eyelashes from?" Or um what kind of mascara is that? What kind of lipstick? You hear that all the time. You hear a lot of, "Where's your makeup from?" Can you just tell me? You hear strangers, I've heard that too. Strangers. "So can you just write down your whole makeup face list right now? Everything on your face. I want to use everything that's on your face." You know, you get girls like that. And some of those girls, sometimes people expect too much from you because you might not even remember. You buy so much makeup that you don't remember what is what. You know, like you did your makeup, you don't remember what you used. They hold you to such a high standard. You have to remember the brand of concealer and lipstick color, everything. And if you don't remember it and you say, "Oh, I don't remember what I put on today. I have so much stuff." And sometimes people will write you off as a bitch just because, "Oh, she didn't share her makeup routine. She's a bitch," you know? But sometimes you need to be given the bitch title just to be respected. Because if you were nice and you remember everything, um, sometimes you need to play dumb, let's say. So let's say you remember your makeup list. You remember everything you put on your face. Sometimes you need to play dumb with women because they have these ulterior motives behind asking about your makeup. They want to become your friend and they want to steal that same dick right from under you. But it's not even the men all the time. It's not always the women. It's, yeah, sometimes the women, but it can be the men too who want to humble you. Some people have this sick thing in their mind where they want to humble you, and they see a beautiful woman there and they go, I'm going to date her and I'm going to put her in her place. And they think that you need to be humbled. People have this really disgusting thing about them when it comes to a beautiful woman about humbling you. Like, and I think that's very rude and sick. You know, like they think that you, unlike the average looking woman who they don't feel the need to humble, they feel the special need to humble you because you're beautiful. And so you will find that with men, when you're beautiful, that they will date you and then treat you like dirt, like total scum, and you feel like shit. And they might even beat you up sometimes. They might hit you, they might mistreat you, treat you like dirt. And not necessarily, not everyone is a woman beater. You don't have to be that scared. But sometimes men are woman beaters. And when they are, or even if they're not hitting you, sometimes men want to emotionally scar you for life. So these are men who target a beautiful woman, and they date you and they sleep with you, and then after that they have sex with your friend. You come home and you find him having sex with your friend. And some men want to do that to you because you're beautiful, and they assume that you are so arrogant and you are so nasty that you needed to be humbled like that. And that wasn't fair for you. That they assumed that you needed the extra special humble treatment because you're beautiful. Because you could have already been so humble, you know, and even if you're not humble, what businesses that are theirs to make you so humble now? And that's never happened to me. I've never walked in on anyone having sex with my friend or nothing like that. It's never happened to me. But it can happen to you when you're a beautiful woman, because sometimes men, they want to put you in your place. They feel like you are so arrogant and because you're so beautiful, and that they want to teach you a lesson. And so when you're beautiful, you should be a lot more guarded, I feel, about who you date. So when you're beautiful, I think you shouldn't be a lot pickier about who you date. Basically, my real advice is to date no one. When you're very beautiful, don't date anybody, but only date someone after you for sure know he would marry you. After you for sure know he would marry you, and you get some approval from friends, family, that can help. But for sure, make sure he's interested in marriage, and make sure you might not even need to run it by your friend's family if you have such a good feeling in your heart about it, but still you can. But you have to be more paranoid about it when you're beautiful, because men have these ulterior motives with you at a much higher level. You get a higher toxicity level, let's say, put it like that. With men, it's like a higher toxicity level that you get coming from them because you're beautiful. And so they see a beautiful woman and they're like, I'm going to teach her a lesson. And I'm going to date her. And I'm going to be having sex with her best friend. And then she's going to know that she's not all that. And then you're crying and you were cheated on like that. And he gets like this narcissistic fix from that, he feels so good. And he pats himself on the back. He's like, yeah, because she was beautiful. I had to put her in her place. I had to humble her. Because if I didn't humble her, she wouldn't be humble. Yeah, you have these assholes like that. So you have to make sure that you guard yourself and that you